Hey everybody, Papa Wiggs is here. Going to do the Thursday night football recap. Wiggs is off seeing his girlfriend this weekend, so he's deemed me uh, a master of everything technical. So bear with me here. So listen, interesting game last night. You know what? I really think the Giants could have had a shot had Neighbors not got knocked out towards the end of the game there with a concussion. They played really well. 20-15 was the final. The Cowboys won. To me, the Giants are really progressing. I think their offense is starting to look a lot better. Daniel Jones had one interception, but that was at the end of the game when he threw up that Hail Mary, which really, I mean, there's nothing he could do about that. So he actually looked pretty good. Throughout the game. You definitely see a transition over the last 2 weeks in his play. I really like what they're doing on the offense. Singletary didn't have a great game, on the ground, or he wasn't very active in the passing game, which was a little disappointing. He only had one catch for 14 yards. But let me tell you, Neighbors is the real deal. 12 catches, 115 yards. He looked awesome on 15 targets. If this keeps up, I know he's got a concussion, but he did put something out on Instagram that he's doing fine. He's got a few extra days to pass concussion protocol before they play next Sunday, so that's good. Hopefully, he'll be able to be back next week because they need him. He's a beast, really looking good. And I'll tell you what, Wendell Robinson looked awesome too. He had 14 targets, 11 receptions for 71 yards. I mean, he wasn't a monster as in being getting along targets and stuff. He was really their possession guy, but he looked good. Plus, he was getting targeted down in the red zone, so I really like what they're doing. A little bit surprising to me, but Tracy was pretty active in this game. So there was. It doesn't show in the stats, but I know he had one catch that got called back because of a penalty. So he looked good. And then on the flip side of things, listen, not a huge fan of the Cowboys. I still don't think they're clicking in all cylinders. But Rico seems to be getting more of a grasp on being the guy in the backfield, and I believe I mentioned that you should start him. I would have liked him see him more involved in the passing game. He only had one catch for 15 yards, but he did have 46 yards rushing on 11 carries, compared to Zeke having 5 carries for 19 yards. I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing more Rico. That's the reason why I thought people should start him over Elliott. So Jake Ferguson had 7 catches for 49 yards. So he was pretty active. I believe he was one of the starts, I said. CD was CD. Of course, he had 7 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. Really nice long touchdown catch there. Dak looked okay. He's not lighting up the world. I'm just not a huge Dak fan. Sorry, you out there, you Cowboy fans. I'm just not a huge Dak fan. I just, he had 125.5 QB rating, so you got to give him props on the game that he had. So the Giants just need to, bring everything together with their offense and the defense, and I think they're gonna, they've got a shot. Yeah, they're 1-3 right now. I don't know that they're gonna make the playoffs, but I think that they're gonna be in a lot more close games this year than people think, especially if Danny Dimes keeps up this consistency he has with Neighbors and Robinson. I think it's really important that he eliminates mistakes, which he did. That one interception again was, at the end of the game when he was throwing up a Hail Mary. So he looked good. I felt he looked good, and you could tell in his eyes that he felt a lot more comfortable in this offense last week and this week. So I think Danny's going to just keep progressing. and hopefully the head coach Dable can do the same thing with Danny that he did with Josh Allen, because he was the guy that is was tagged as the main influence behind Josh Allen's performance with Buffalo. So I'm hoping that he can turn it around. Another good sign too, just FYI, is Darius Slayton did have 3 catches on 5 targets for 56 yards. So he was a little bit more involved this week than I expected, because I really thought that Singletary would be a little bit more active in the passing game, but for some reason they didn't use him as much there. So overall, it was a lot better game than I thought it was going to be. I'm disappointed because I picked the Giants to win. I believe Wiggs had picked the Cowboys. So um, because you know what, I like where the Giants are going, and I really am a huge fan of Nabers. I think that this guy is going to be a really great receiver in the NFL, and the Giants are starting to figure things out. They just need to keep up the consistency, keep up the improvement week to week, and I think that they're going to give everybody more than they can handle going forward in this division. And even at 1-3, they still got a shot in this division. With the Eagles and the Commanders and the Cowboys. I mean, nobody's really standing out, in this division. I think that they're right there. I mean, right now you've got the Commanders on top, the Commanders and the Eagles at 2-1. So and then the Cowboys are 2-2. So the Giants are right there in this division, and so they have an opportunity. So again, really great start to week 4. Hopefully we'll have some great games this weekend as well. It's always nice when these games are close, because it always, from a fantasy perspective, it always allows all the players to still have an active role on offense, running backs and wide receivers. Once you start getting into those blowouts, that's when you start seeing less involvement from the running backs. So this is hopefully we'll have some really good games like this going forward. So with that, just want to remind you, check us out, Fantasy Fools PPR on YouTube. We're also out on Snapchat, uh, Instagram, TikTok, X. Like, subscribe, share. If you got any questions or feedback, feel free to send it to us. We're always looking for any feedback, or if you need help or advice on your lineups, check us out. We hope that you're finding this as another great resource for your fantasy football decisions in each week. So with that, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.